Okay, so we will discuss about performance management, that what is performance management, or it is alternatively called F5, that what is F5, what is the global pass rate of F5, and how will we try to pass this exam in this attempt, in our first attempt. Basically, F5 or performance management is focusing on the concepts of management accounting. It is purely a management to discuss different management accounting concepts which are relevant with the budgeting, which are relevant with the planning, which are relevant with the performance measurement, or we can say that these are relevant with the like performance variances. So overall focus of the management accounting is performance measurement, that what was set or determined at the start of the accounting period and what company will achieve at the end of accounting period. Now we will divide this F5 into different sections, and we will discuss that what is the importance of different sections and how we will approach these different sections to get good marks in the exams if they will be asked by the examiner in actual exams. So this starts from revision of management accounting topics. It is revising what is absorption and marginal costing. It is focusing that what is basic variances, but at this stage in F5, examiner is not going to ask you again about the absorption and marginal costing, or examiner is not going to ask you about basic variances. Maybe he will discuss like material price variance or sales price variance, but in total, focus of the examiner here in F5 is advanced variances. Now we have next two chapters which are focusing on management information system and information system and data analytics. These two chapters are theoretical chapters. These chapters are basically focusing on information system. That what is the information system? What type of information system we have? We have executive information system. We have decision support system. We have our management information system. So there are different executive information systems. So there are different types of information systems we have. And in data analytics, our focus is big data. So we must know that what is the big data and how many V's we have in the big data. So we need to read these chapters primarily either from the notes or from the study text and memorize some specific definition and terminologies if those will be asked by the examiner in actual exams. Then you must be able to answer those things. It is expected that there will be at least two MCQs which will come from chapter 2 or 3, chapter 2 and 3, or either from chapter 2 or chapter 3. I will say that it will come from chapter 2 and 3. Means you can expect around 4 to 6 marks from these two chapters. And it is also possible that there will be a question for 4 to 5 marks in the section C as part of 31st question or as part of 32nd question. So we can expect a question from this from these two chapters. So in F5, it is very important for us to learn all the chapters because it is expected that examiner will ask questions from each one of the chapters. Next one is specialist cost and management accounting techniques. It is one of the important chapters. Apparently, it is just one chapter, but it contains 5 topics. First one is target costing. And most of the time, examiner is asking a question cycle costing combined. So target costing and life cycle costing both are relatable with each other. So there are these two topics. Third one is activity-based costing. This one is important in its own individual capacity. I can say that this one is an important topic as an individual topic or as an just like a one topic. Then we have the second one, sorry, the fourth one, it is throughput accounting. That what is throughput accounting? Throughput accounting is focusing on basically limiting factor. Focus of the throughput accounting is limiting factor, and throughput accounting focuses on what? It focuses on limiting factor of individuals. Sorry, machine hours. Limiting factor of machine hours. Then the fifth one is EMA. EMA stands for Environmental Management Accounting. So this chapter is very important in F5, and we can expect that there could be one of the OTQ for 10 marks from this chapter. Either it could be a combination of target costing and life cycle costing. It can be asked by the examiner from activity-based costing. There could be a question from throughput accounting, and maybe there will be one or two MCQs from the environmental management accounting in your section A. But this chapter is very important for section A and B, both the sections. Usually, examiner is not asking question from these topics in section C. These topics are important for section A and B. And remember, there are 5 topics in this special cost and management accounting techniques. Next one is cost volume profit analysis. It is one of the important chapters for either of the sections. At times, it is possible that examiner can ask a question from cost volume profit analysis in the section C. So there are 2 types of CVP analysis, and the other one is called multi-product. So single product and multi-product CVP analysis will be discussed in this chapter. Planning with limiting factor. Planning with limiting factor basically for also focusing on 2 areas. One is called single limiting factor. Single limiting factor could be shortage of material. There could be shortage of labor hours. But the other one is called multi-limiting factor. This multi-limiting factor is dealt by linear programming. So in F5 syllabus, there are 3 areas which deals with the limiting factor. One is this throughput accounting. Second one is this single limiting factor. And the third one is linear programming. Throughput accounting usually focuses on machine hours. Single limiting factor focuses on either shortage of material or labor hours. And multi-limiting factor, linear programming, focuses on 2 limiting factors. There could be shortage of 2 types of materials. There could be shortage of 2 types of labor hours. There could be shortage of 1 material or 1 labor hours. There could be shortage of material and machine hours. Next one is, again, this planning with limiting factor is important. I cannot say that it is highly important for the section C, but I can say that it can be asked by the examiner in section A and B. Next one is pricing. What is this pricing? Pricing is basically something which is very important to understand, and focus of the pricing is profit maximization, which is called MR is equal to MC. So it is very important equation in this chapter, and we must know that how to solve this equation. So focus of pricing is what? MR is equal to MC, which means marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. Okay. So pricing, again, not highly important for the section C, but there could be either 1 or 2 MCQs focusing on marginal revenue and marginal cost, or it is focusing on like this equation. There are different types of pricing, but more importantly, material price skimming, price penetration, these are important. Types of markets are important. Next one is relevant costing. Relevant costing is somehow an important chapter, and in past, not in far past, in recent past, means like in the last year, examiner asked question from the relevant costing. Even in the section C, examiner provided different cost, and we were expected to identify that which one of the costs are relevant cost and which one are irrelevant cost. So this chapter is important, especially for section B and section C both. Basically, relevant costing is again not focusing on relevant costing only. This chapter is focusing on 4 different types of decisions. What four different types of decisions? We can say that there could be a decision of make or buy, either to make a product within the organization, or we should make a product from or purchase the product from external supplier. So relevant costing is focusing on four decisions: make or buy decision. It is relevant or focusing on continue or shut down decision, further processing decision, and relevant costing itself, which means special order pricing. There are five types of short-term decision. One of the type is single limiting factor, which we will study here in this chapter. And rest of the four types of decisions we will study here in relevant costing. Next topic is risk and uncertainty. Risk and uncertainty is somehow important for the exams, but I did not heard from the students in past that examiner asked question number of times from this chapter. Maybe possible examiner will ask a question for 10 marks in the section B, or maybe he will not ask the question. Next is budgeting. Budgeting is again very important, and at this F5 level, theory of the budgeting is very important to understand, either to memorize or to understand the concept of different types of budgeting, especially zero-based budgeting, incremental budgeting, beyond budgeting concept. Apart from this, there are two numerical areas of the budgeting. One is called flexed budget. One is called flex budget, and the other one is called rolling budget. So flex budget and rolling budget, theory of the budgeting is very important in this chapter. So this chapter is very important to understand, especially with respect to theoretical concepts. Quantitative techniques is also now important from exam point of view and focusing on three areas. One is simple high-low method, which means we are trying to calculate variable cost per unit and fixed cost per period from the given overheads or mixed cost or indirect cost. Second one is after high-low method, second one very important is learning curve theory. Third one is regression. And in past, examiner asked question in two different attempts from the regression in section C. So regression is someone which is also getting importance in front of examiner, and examiner asked question from this chapter in the section C. Basically, it is also part of budgeting. It is the statistical part of budgeting, or it is the one which is focusing on the stats area of the budgeting. So we can relate this quantitative techniques, or alternatively, it is also called quantitative analysis in budgeting or quantitative ads in budgeting. So it is relevant with the budgeting. Next one is advanced variances. Advanced variances is important, but I think in this attempt, examiner has asked question from advanced variances. Maybe if examiner asks question in the next attempt, will not ask either in the section C. Maybe there will be a question from the variances in section B, maybe a few MCQs only, or again, we can expect a question in section C, but he asked question from variances in this attempt. So now there could be slightly lower chances that in next attempt examiner will ask question from variances. But we all know that examiner is not going to ask only one paper in the actual exams. In the actual exam, examiner is going to ask two or different papers. So it is possible that in one of the papers, examiner is asking quantitative techniques, and in the other, or question from quantitative techniques, or question from variances, and in the other question is one of the question is coming from budgeting. Last very important area is last three chapters, performance measurement. There is a confirmed section C question from this performance measurement for 20%. So in F5, if you ask me today that what is predictable or what we can expect in the actual exam, I can say you that there will be a 20 marks question which will come from performance measurement. Either it will be simple, financial, and non-financial, It could be building block model, building block model, divisional measurement, performance measurement, and transfer pricing. It focuses on return on investment and residual income. There could be a complete 20 marks question from this chapter. In part A, examiner will ask you to calculate return on investment. In part A2, he will ask you to calculate residual income. Then commentary will be required, and in the part B, examiner will ask transfer pricing. Performance measurement in not-for-profit organization and the public sector, which means use of value for money. There could be a question from value for money, but from value for money, it is difficult to ask a question for 20 marks. And if it will be asked, at times examiner asked a question for 20 marks from value for money, then a lot of workings will be required from this concept value for money, economy, efficiency, and effectiveness. And economy, efficiency, and effectiveness, just like financial ratios, here you must need to understand the actual information provided in the actual exams. And on the basis of that information, you need to decide that which one is a more appropriate ratio with respect to economy, with respect to efficiency, and with respect to effectiveness. So this is also important. There could be a question for 20 marks. There could be a question for 20 marks from this chapter, either from chapter 14, either from chapter 15. So all these chapters are equally important for 20 marks. So most of the times questions come from chapter 13 and 14. Rarely question is asked from chapter 15, but still there are chances that there could be a question from chapter 15. Now, what is important to understand about F5? Important to understand about F5 is that apparently you are going to deal, starting from chapter 2 till chapter 15, you are going to deal only with 14 chapters. But in fact, you are not dealing with the 14 chapters. In fact, you are dealing with the number of concepts asked by the examiner in these 14 chapters. Like in management information system, I told you that like what is information system, what are the types of information systems, then what is data analytics, what is big data, what is like cloud computing or relevant terminologies. And there are almost now 6 V's related with the big data. So we must need to know everything, especially when we have 60% exams from our MCQs or coming from MCQs. Second, apparently there is just one chapter, specialist cost and management accounting technique, but still there are 5 topics. Then we have CVP analysis, which is also focusing on 2 different types. Pricing, it has its own different theoretical and numerical concepts. Relevant costing, apparently it is just one chapter, but there are 4 different decisions: make or buy, continuous shutdown, further processing, special order pricing. Examiner can ask 20 marks question either from this. Examiner can ask a question from continuous shutdown for 20 marks. Make or buy and further processing can be combined for the 20 marks. So this chapter also has a potential for the 20 marks question. Risk and uncertainty is a tricky chapter, and it has 2 main focuses. One is called Maximax, Maximin, and Minimax regret, and the second one is decision trees. Both of these concepts are slightly tricky concepts. Then this area, budgeting, then quantitative techniques, advanced variances, performance measurement, divisional performance measurement, and performance measurement in not-for-profit seeking organizations and public sector organizations. These 6 chapters are highly important for the exams. And I can say that at least there will be 40 marks in the actual exams from these 6 chapters. So if someone is not good in these 6 chapters, then he or she can expect that he will not or she will not be able to attempt exam carefully, or will not be able to attempt a good exams. So there will be slightly lower chances to pass the exams if you are not good in these 6 chapters. Now, how to get success in the actual exams, which is very important to know, because actual exam is focusing on 3 areas. First one is section A for 30 marks. Second one is section B, which contains 3 OTQs, and each OTQ contains 5 MCQs, and still it is having the same questions, and each question is for 20 marks. So 40 marks will come from section C. Now, these 60% marks are very important. If someone is not good in MCQs, then again, it becomes difficult to get success in the exam. Suppose if you are not very good and you are repeatedly getting just 50%, which means you are getting only 30 marks uh, in this section, 30%. Now, this section must be very strong, and you should be able to secure at least 70%, 80% marks, so that you will be comfortably successful in the actual exams, at least by getting 60% or more marks. So if someone is not good in either section, either in section A and B or in section C, will not be able to get success. Now, why will not be able to get success? Because you are not thoroughly prepared, or I would say that conceptually prepared. If you are not conceptually prepared, you will not be able to attempt MCQs in the section A and B. Conceptually preparation is very important. Second one is, when you are talking about section C, you must be able to, writing is very important whenever you are attempting questions of section C. Most of the students attempt section C questions while they are doing practice at their home, but they only solve the numerical portion and they never try to write the theoretical answers. So that's why they remain weak and they are unable to complete their section C. They are unable to secure good marks from the 40 marks. They think that we just know that what to write, and in the actual exam we will easily able to write significant points, suppose for 8 marks. But when it comes to actual exams, they are not even able to write reasonable 4 to 5 marks to get good marks out of 8. So that's why they end up either, suppose, by 14, 15, 12 marks out of 40. Secondary, whenever they are preparing or they are doing practice for the section C questions, they do not practice these questions with due care. And most of the students have aptitude of carelessness. They think that there is no need to attempt this no long question carefully, and if there is a mistake, they say that this 1 mark, there will be loss of just 1 mark, and okay, fine, I understand that where I went wrong. When they again attempt another question, they again make the same mistake, but still not trying to improve their concepts and getting the same error time and again. So whenever you are incorrect, you must know that why are you incorrect? What conceptual weakness exists still? That's why you are not able to attempt your question correctly. Very important thing when you are dealing with section A and B MCQs, which we need to understand. I always say to students that whenever you are doing practice at your home, you must know that there are 4 options A, B, C, D. We are always trying to find only the correct one. Suppose B is correct. Okay, fine. And actually B is also correct. So you secured your 2 marks. But you must know that why A is incorrect, why C is incorrect, why D is incorrect. Until you don't know the reason of why A, C, and D is incorrect, you cannot say that my concepts are strong. You are not conceptually strong. To get conceptual strength, you must know that why this one is right and why rest of the three are incorrect. What does it mean? At times, it is possible that statement A is not an inaccurate statement if I change the question requirement. Statement A is correct statement, although not correct right now, but with the changed question requirement, this could be correct. Similarly, if I change the question requirement, C could be the correct answer. If I changed question requirement, D could be the correct answer. So A, B, C, D could be correct answers with the change requirement. B is already correct and these could be correct. But at times it is possible that even if I change the requirement, A and C and D are completely incorrect statements. When you know that which one of these statements is completely incorrect, when you know that which one is when you know that which one is correct, if I change my question requirement, then you can claim that I am conceptually strong and my concepts are clear. Otherwise, until or unless you are not confident about all the four options, you are not conceptually clear. And all ACCA exams, but particularly F5 is a very conceptual paper. It expects from the students that your concepts are very strong. You are conceptually strong in all the chapters, especially when dealing with Maximax, Minimax, and Maximin, when dealing with the relevant costing principles, either when dealing with the linear programming or when dealing with throughput accounting ratio, so and so on. So your focus must be understanding of the concepts, which is very important. Until or unless you are not going to understand the concept, you will face difficulty while attempting MCQs. And remember one more thing, do not check the answer of each one of the MCQ when you are attempting at your own place. Suppose you are attempting the MCQs of target costing. Now first complete your all target costing MCQs and then go back to the answers and check how many are correct and how many are incorrect. A few students check their answers just after each one of the MCQ, that why either I am right in this, either I am wrong in this. It does not help you to boost your confidence. It is basically showing that you are not confident about your answers or you have a fear that my answer will be incorrect. So I am going to check the answer. Suppose I choose, and such type of students I observed that suppose they marked C as the right answer, but C is actually an incorrect statement, or I can say that suppose they marked A as the right answer. Now, A is not the right answer with the given question requirement. If I change the question requirement, then A will be correct, but they marked A as the correct answer. When they look at the back, B is right answer. Now they are reading the question requirement, looking at the answer. I forgot that word. Oh, okay. I understand. So you do not understand. Your answer was incorrect. A few are writing B or C while practice. Then they go back to the answers. Suppose C is right, B is wrong. They will say yes. In actual exams, you are not going to choose B or C. You have to choose either your B or either C. These things shows your lack of preparation, confidence. Lack of confidence leads to such type of the what can I say, that silly things you are doing, like choosing an option which is incorrect, then looking at the answer. Okay, I forgot that word. Oh, yes, C is correct. I choose B or C. So not or, either B or either C. Lack of preparation means you are not conceptually strong. When you are not conceptually strong, you are not confident. So make sure that if you are done with this chapter, now attempt all the MCQs first, given at the end of your exam kit, given at ACCA Study Hub. After that, come to VLS website and then attempt the quiz and attempt quiz just once and look at your answers. Look at your marks. If you could not secure very high marks, suppose you were expecting that I will secure 80% of the marks, but actually you could secure 60%. We observed that a few students immediately go back and they reattempt the quiz and securing 90%. Don't do this. Now wait, revise your concepts where you went wrong, and then uh, go with another quiz after a day, after 2 days, and then improve your secure. Maybe in the second attempt, you will get the 100%. So do not immediately attempt the quizzes a second time. We observed, a number of times we observed that, suppose today, if I teach any topic to you, suppose I am going to teach you any topic like pricing. I am going to end up my class with the pricing topic, and after half an hour or after an hour, I am receiving email that one of the candidates who were attending the live session attempted the pricing MCQs and could not even secure 50% of the marks. So please don't do this. Once after the completion of live class, go and attempt your MCQs either on the same day or next day, whatever your schedule is. When you are pretty confident about your MCQs of the exam kits and study hub, then go to the quiz at ACCA website and similarly quiz at a VLS website. Now you will be able to get good marks in the quizzes. You will feel confident, you will feel good, and you know that now I learned these concepts conceptually, or I am prepared with relevant costing, I am prepared with quantitative techniques. Then you can mark in your scheduler, in your study planner, or whatever source you use to update yourself that either my preparation is done with particular subject or particular chapter or not. Then you can mark this: yes, my chapter 4 is prepared, yes, my chapter 5 is prepared now, yes, 6 is prepared, rather than rushing just after the live class, going attempting the quiz, not getting the good marks, then reattempting after 2 days. This is not the right approach. Right approach is what follow a sequence. At times, students ask us either to read the study text or just to follow the notes. I cannot say that do not read the study text. I cannot say that do not read the book or notes provided at the ACCS Study Hub. I can say that what minimum is expected from you. At least read all notes which we are providing at our website at the end of each one of the topics, plus at least your understandings from the study text, then at least one exam kit, or if you have time for the both, you can also attempt ACCA Study Hub, and then come to quizzes, R quiz, ACCA quiz. Then we will conduct 3 assignments. So make sure your participation in the assignments, progress tests. These will be available after the completion of each one of the sections, and your result will be available immediately at the end of the test. 3 assignments, 5 tests, and finally, mocks. We are offering one mock completely MCQ based, one mock just like ACCA pattern, section ABC, and one mock is available at ACCA official. 2 mocks. Here we have 3 mocks, but attempt at least 2 mocks. Either this one and this one, or I would say that at least one of our mocks and one from the ACCF official website. because ACCA is going to ask certain MCQs in section A and B. And at times it is expected that there will be two, three, not exactly the similar MCQs, but MCQs on that concept or that pattern will be asked in the actual exams. So after the attempt of ACCA mock, make sure that you identified your mistakes and you corrected your mistakes. So this is what which is very necessary to understand where you went wrong. Now, very important to know that when your exam will be held, your exam will be held in March 5th. Usually on Wednesday, ACCA, March 5, 2025 is your exam day. And what is date today? Date today is December 16, 2024. So you have this week, next week, then third week starting from 30th of December. Then you have 4 more weeks in the January. So 7. Then you have 8, 9, 10, and 11 weeks. So after 11 weeks, your exam will be held. So 11 weeks means 7 days, 77 days. I don't know how many of you already started your preparation, like in November, like at early December. I am assuming that all of you are going to start your preparation either from today, either started from yesterday, or will start from tomorrow. So you have 77 days. And as per my perception of on the basis of past sessions, that are most of the students are working students, and maybe all of you are working students, so you are managing time you at your weekend or in your evenings for your studies. So if you are a working student, now you better know that how to make a schedule for you for 77 days. I can only suggest you one thing, that you will make sure that you are going to give some time to your seminar, either 45 minutes, either 1 hour, either at early in the morning, either during the lunch break in office, either in the evening, but you will definitely learn something new on daily basis, especially if you have sufficient time in the at early in the morning, when you are fresh, when energy at its peak, you are mentally fresh, you are physically fresh, and you have at least 1 hour for yourself, 45 minutes for yourself to study, like you are understanding what is target costing in 45 minutes time, what is life cycle costing. And whenever you are studying, try to recall or memorize the concept. Suppose you listen a recording of 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever your stamina is to listen the recording in a sequence. So suppose after every 5 minutes, you must recall that what did you hear in last 5 minutes, or note down these things after every 5 minutes, that what did I learn in these 5 minutes. So gradually you will be able to memorize that what are the steps of the target costing, what are the 6 V's, what are the stages of the life cycle, how many stages of the life cycle will remain in loss, what are the steps of activity based costing, what are the steps of throughput accounting, what is environmental management accounting, how to deal with multi-product CVP analysis, what are the steps of Hilo method, what are the steps of algebraic learning curve theory, how to deal with regression analysis, what are the three main building block model. Three main building block model further contains 6 dimensions, three standards, three kind of different rewards. Similarly, balance scorecard have 4 different perspectives. What 4 different perspectives? What is, how can I differentiate economy, efficiency, and effectiveness? What is the formula of return on investment? What is residual income? What are the transfer pricing types? This is what you need to memorize. This is what you need to understand while listening your lectures. So you know that what is your stamina. If your stamina is to listen 30 minutes continuously, and you know that I can memorize what I heard in 30 minutes, in last 30 minutes, very good. But most of the people don't have that much stamina. So what to do? Listen first 5 minutes, make short points. Then next 5 minutes, make sure short points. So you listen a lecture of 20 minutes, but you took around 30-35 minutes to complete that lecture, because after every 5 minutes you were writing point, but after 35 minutes you know that what did you learn in this video. This is very important, that once you listen one video, now you don't have enough time to go back again and again and listening time and again the same video. So you must need to understand what did you learn in one video. Either it's a lecture video or a question video. Especially in question video, once you are prepared with the topic, then uh, come and listen the question video if you could not participate in the live class. But if you have time to participate in the live class will be held on every Monday at this time. Make sure your participation. We are observing that those who are participating in the live class, somehow they are more disciplined in terms of their preparation, because they have the pressure that teacher asked in the group that we will discuss this particular topic in this in our live class, or we will do question from this particular topic. Now they come from with the preparation of that topic, because they know that when I am doing questions, they will be able to participate, and they will be able to understand. So with for 77 days, make sure what is your schedule on daily basis. And I told you the steps, that what are the steps. So starting from the recording, first of all you are listening the recording. After listening of recording, read notes. Reading of notes, then go to the test your understanding or examples, either at study text or at ACCA study hub. Then use the exam kit. Then go for the practice or quizzes at study hub. Then quizzes at VLS. Also attempt the assignments during the session. Also attempt 5 tests whenever particular section is prepared. And then at the end, also participate at least in 2 mocks out of available 3 mocks. Ideally 3 mocks, but at least make sure your presence will be in the in 2 mocks. And today is 16th. All of you are highly motivated to follow this pattern, but most of the students does not follow. Why? Because they do not start following this pattern from the first week. So make sure that you will follow the pattern from the first week. You will participate in each one of your activity to make sure that by the session end, or whenever we will end the classes, more likely we will end up our classes like we are starting on 16th. 3 will be held in December, 4 will be held in January, and more likely 2 to 3 will be held in February. So latest by 10th of February or 17th of February, we will end up by our live classes. Then your focus is only your practice and mocks. So mock will be more likely available on 20th of February till the exam day. So make sure that you will follow this pattern, you will participate in the live class, you will make your own short points for each one of the video. What did you learn in last 5 minutes, in last 7 minutes, in last 10 minutes, whatever your stamina is. And very important is what I explained over here is conceptual understanding. Conceptual understanding is highly important to get success in this exams, in fact, in all ACCA exams, but in this exams, because its global pass rate is maximum 43%. Usually it falls in between this range. And recently, our pass rate was far better than this. 43%. So I expect the same in December as attempt, but let's see what would be the result on January 16. But you can make sure that you will be like 100% at the middle of April whenever your result will be announced. So conceptual understanding is very important. Right, everyone? Any question?